Hey folks, Ray at Rainmaker.com here, and taking a first look at Zwift steering. Now, much like the hull is right now under construction, this is a little bit under construction as well, so you're going to have to forgive all the noises, chainsaws, you name it, it's happening right now. But again, it's a lot like this. Now, the way steering works in Zwift is you have to have a compatible device, and right now that's primarily phones, but all around me right here are new bikes like the Stages bike, the Neo bike. All these bikes have steering within them as well, and also Elite's new steering accessory. So between all those things, you can potentially steer your bike on these new kind of test courses. Now, right now the test course is effectively a mountain bike course, not effectively, it is a mountain bike course, and it's something that should take about 10 to 15 minutes to go ahead and get through that course. And the way it works today, and the way they're showing it here at Eurobike, and it's something they're trying to get out the door probably in the next month or two, is via the phone app. And so the phone app, you have to run the Zwift companion app just like you know and love, and you have to have your phone mounted to your bike. And the reason for that is that you need to be able to steer your bike. And so if you're hand holding your phone, it's not really gonna work, so you have to have a static point there. You go ahead and put it on there, and then within the app, you go ahead and basically zero your phone, just like you would zero a power meter or a calibrator trainer. The exact same concept. It's zeroing us. So even if it's crooked, like this phone is right here, that's totally fine. It can be off the side, it can be anywhere you want on the bars, as long as it's somewhere on the bars and statically there. Once that's all set and done, you go ahead and you'll get prompted in the middle of the Titans Grove course if you'd like to join the new Zwift's Future Works program. In this case, the Futures program is purely for the steering section. It'll go ahead and take you off the trail, and then you're basically free riding on the trail. And you simply navigate along that trail within these kind of like bumpered lanes. So you can't go too far off the course itself. You can go maybe 3 to 5 meters off the course, and then it plops you back on again. It doesn't like re-establish your avatar, it just simply kind of bumps you back onto the course. Now, one thing to keep in mind is on a normal trainer mat, it's going to be pretty resistful. It's not going to be very smooth because of the fact that your trainer mat's designed to kind of not move around very much. So what they've got here is just a little piece of like wood parquet flooring. You can probably find something creative at home, do the exact same thing. Or again, we'll see some accessories like the Elite accessory, which not only has steering within it, but also has that feedback left and right, and it feels actually super natural. Something I have tried over the past couple months, and it's actually really impressive, even by itself, that accessory, let alone when you actually have a game controlling it. Okay, so here we are on the course itself. Now you can see as I steer, it goes right and left. Now, I've been trying this here for a few minutes. It's actually a little trickier than it looks. In this section here, I'll probably show exactly that. Or I'll make it look good, but I promise you it's not super easy at first. You eventually get the hang of it. And there's definitely a point of it here where it's gonna depend on your hardware and connectivity. And I've seen over the last little while that it does take a few, sometimes resetting that steering sensitivity or that steering offset or zero there to get it back right again. And again, that's all kind of part of that sort of beta Future Works Zwift aspect right there. So it doesn't take, just like on a real bike, huge shifts in your steering. It's just, minor little left and right bits to get you where you want to go. And you can see back there when I went off the bridge, I didn't really go totally off the bridge and crash and slam my face in the ground. Instead, I just kind of bumped back onto the bridge again. So right now this is only an off-road course, but Zwift says that they're looking at on-road usage down the road here, probably not terribly far. And I think that if you look at the on-road scenarios, it's much more interesting more in the veering concept. So veering with a V than steering. So in veering, you'd be able to go ahead and get around a group and move up within the peloton and make advances versus having to focus entirely on keeping it on the road. Because in some ways, this sensitivity here may not be ideal in a race scenario, whereas veering around a group and making a pass or coming in behind someone is probably much more interesting and kind of keeps the spirit of the racing aspect of Zwift. Now I will say, now that I'm watching this whole section of one big sweep here, this is probably the most successful I've been on this over the last half an hour or so I've been trying this. So not only successful for me as a rider navigating, but also the technology and the game behind it. And so it's nice when it's working pretty well, it's kind of fun. On the flip side, when it's not working very well, you'll probably be back on the road pretty quickly. But again, that's the whole point of the Future Works concept and testing things out and seeing how they work. In addition, you get scored at the top of the screen there. You can see the different stars as you go through, depending on how well you keep your line. So just kind of a bit more of the gamification that you see throughout Zwift as well. And you just heard me shift there. This is no different than any other portion of Zwift where There's train, you're going up and down. The trainer that I'm on, the Tax Neo 2T, is changing the resistance as I go along. So right now I'm at 7% grade and going pretty slowly up at 7% grade. But it's the same experience that you get with any smart trainer. You can see down in the lower left-hand corner is that steering sensitivity. With a keyboard, you can go ahead and adjust that to be more sensitive or less sensitive. So you can kind of play with that and figure out what works well for you and your device. Okay, so there's your first look at the new Zwift steering. Again, it's supposed to come out sometime, maybe September, early October. The date's a little bit fuzzy there. It is a beta program, so it's called FutureWorks. It's kind of like beta in other applications, except you don't have to run a separate application. It's basically something you just enter into as you're in the middle of a given route, and then you go ahead and try it out, and then you can continue on with your life. So it's something that Zwift says they're going to continue to do on other projects in other areas. Steering happens to be the first one as part of their FutureWorks program. So definitely give it a whirl once it comes out. With that, thanks for watching. Go ahead and whack that like button down at the bottom there, or the subscribe button. There's plenty more sports technology goodness here from Eurobike. And if you haven't seen a bunch of my other videos, check those out up there on the side right now. Plenty of other apps and devices that are being announced today.